Welcome to Skillwork Academy and congrats on your new position. You've come a long way. You've covered a lot of ground to get to this point. You've nailed your interview with the client. You've accepted their offer. You've signed your contract. Way to go. So now what? You don't just have to sit around until your start date. We have plenty to do before you get there. Before your first day, you'll need to walk through Skillwork's onboarding process. This is a really important part of becoming a member of our team. So even though it might be tempting to push aside this list of to-dos until later on, here's a word of advice. Please don't hold this off until the last minute. Go ahead and start your onboarding as soon as possible. There's no need to stress this part. You're not alone in this at all. As you move through the onboarding process, you'll meet a team of people who will act as your guide during this entire process. Actually, this same team will also be your primary support system while on contract in the field, and you're going to love working with them. We'll talk more about these folks in just a minute. As a quick overview, the onboarding process at Skillwork consists of the following steps and topics: your drug screen, your background check, your housing arrangements, Paycom setup, and just any general first day information. Let's take a closer look at each of these items and talk a little bit more about what to expect as you transition to the Skillwork team. So remember those people we mentioned a minute ago who are your personal support team? At Skillwork, we call these special people engagement coordinators, or just ECs for short. When you sign your contract with Skillwork, your recruiter takes a step back and your engagement coordinator will take center stage with you. From this point forward, they are not only your primary point of contact, but also a wealth of information and guidance. So what exactly is an engagement coordinator? These guys and gals are your lifeline to Skillwork headquarters, and they are your personal advocate during your time on contract. Their heart is to help you succeed by answering your questions, guiding you through onboarding, and just generally being in your corner and rooting for your success and well-being while you're out on contract. They'll reach out to you regularly to check in and help where needed, so expect to hear from them often. One of the first things your engagement coordinator will do is get you set up with the technical side of onboarding. This includes the background check and drug screening. They'll also give you what we call first day information that relates to the facility where you will be working. This includes things like what to expect on your first day, what should you bring with you on site, what attire or uniform is expected, how do you punch in your time. All of these details and more will be communicated to you by your EC. Let's talk a little bit more about background checks and drug screens. Again, both of these need to be completed before your first day. In fact, the earlier the better, and your EC will email you the links you need to do both of these things super easily. If any issues come up during either of these processes, a member of our HR team will reach out to you. They are equipped with the knowledge and resources to assist you and find the best path forward. As always, your EC will continue to just keep you informed and keep you updated through the entire process. Now that we've covered a couple technical pieces of onboarding, let's move on to some practical parts, like finding housing, keeping track of your hours, and understanding your pay stubs. Let's just start with housing arrangements. Generally speaking, when you sign a contract with Skillwork, you've signed up to work at a location that is often far from home. And we want to make sure that you are set up for success by helping you find a reliable and safe place to stay. And that is where our housing team really shines. Depending on a few factors, you may be eligible to receive a weekly housing stipend based on the average cost of living in the area where your facility is located. And this housing stipend is meant to help you in securing or paying for lodging while you're away from home. Skillworks housing team can help you narrow down your search as you start planning your living arrangements. Here's a little bit of insight into how the housing process works. A housing coordinator will get in touch with you after you sign your contract. They are equipped with the knowledge of the area that you're heading to and may have recommendations already of hotels or furnished rentals that are available for you. Let your housing coordinator know your criteria for selecting a hotel or rental so they can keep an eye out for what interests you or fits your lifestyle. They will then conduct a housing search and send the recommendations over to you, and ultimately you make the decision about where you want to stay. Here's something important to remember. While Skillwork cannot set up your long-term living arrangements, we can help you by securing a hotel reservation for your first week or two. This cost is paid upfront by Skillwork with the understanding that this initial reservation is like a loan, and Skillwork will set you up on a repayment plan once your paychecks start rolling in. The time and research that goes into providing these housing options is meant to reduce the time and energy that you would spend searching on your own, so be sure to take advantage of the support offered to you by the Skillwork housing team. Next on the list of onboarding topics is getting set up in Paycom. Your time card, pay steps, direct deposit information, and more are all handled through our online system called Paycom. You will download Paycom as an app on your phone, which will allow you to easily keep track of and approve important pay and human resources information regarding each of your contracts while you're working with Skillwork. Your EC will email you a link to create an account name and password for your Paycom. And once you're approved, you'll be able to log into your account and start familiarizing yourself with just its basic functions. Your EC will help guide you through the basics. There's also a whole video library on Paycom that you can check out at any time if you need help. If you haven't realized it yet, there is an entire team of people at Skillwork who are actively working to help you make the most of your time on contract. Our engagement coordinators, HR representatives, housing coordinators, and our payroll team are all here to support you. They're only an email or phone call away. And finally, we just want to say best of luck with your onboarding. We cannot wait for you to get started.